Hello, everyone. This is Molly, and today we're going to talk about inquiry types. Inquiry type is a field that we have to fill out in the contact data form in Refer. The choices are level 1, which is an information-only call. Level 2, which means you're doing some assessment and making referrals. And then a level 3 would be when you're providing some sort of advocacy or doing a warm transfer. In order to help you determine which of these to select, we're going to go over our policy, which is located in the tips sheet, in the tips sheet section of the contact markers. And so you'll see here I have selected the tip sheet for inquiry types and advocacy. So a level 1, you're going to use a level 1 when responding to a specific request for information where no assessment of need is conducted and clarifying questions are not asked. Very few calls should fall into this category. Some examples. What time is trick-or-treating this week? What does 211 do? I'm a volunteer with the Red Cross and I just need their main number. I have an appointment with the HEAP office and I forgot the appointment time. Can you give me their main number? For level 2s, you're going to use a level 2 when you're responding to a request for assistance when an assessment is conducted. And what we mean by assessment is you're asking some questions to help clarify or identify the need. Most of your calls are going to fall into this category. So some examples. I need a food pantry this week. I need to schedule a tax appointment. I need help paying my rent. And then a little bit different here, we have what is the phone number for HEAP? And with a note, the specialist should be asking clarifying questions. So to talk about this a little bit more, if someone's asking for the phone number for HEAP, we want to clarify to make sure it is in fact HEAP that they're trying to get a hold of. As you may know, many of our callers confuse HEAP and PIP, and they don't know the difference. And so we want to clarify, is it in fact HEAP or do they need a payment plan? We also want to use this as an opportunity to offer some additional assistance and referrals to our caller if available. So for example, if they tell you that they're calling HEAP because they have a disconnection notice on their gas bill, then you should also check to see if there are additional programs that may also provide some help with gas payment assistance and offer that caller some additional referrals just in case that call to HEAP does not work out or if they need additional help. A level 3 is when you're responding to a request for assistance when advocacy is conducted. Advocacy is defined as intervening on behalf of the client by placing a call or a conference to a third party on the inquirer's behalf to ensure that they receive the needed services. Pre-existing arrangements with agencies such as the Bishop Cosgrove Center Food Pantry, where a call is placed to a third party as a standard course of action to facilitate an appointment, are not considered advocacy calls. The advocacy policy for 211 is further defined on the following page, so we'll get to that shortly. Examples of when to record a level 3. The caller is transferred to a crisis hotline for assistance. The navigation specialist calls an agency because the caller has a physical or a cognitive barrier that prevents him or her from easily contacting the provider directly. The navigation specialist calls to verify that a phone number is working for a caller, but does not actually do a transfer. The call is transferred to a supervisor for the supervisor to advocate on behalf of the person who needs the service. Examples of calls that are not a level 3 would be an internal transfer to another 211 skill set, such as the tax skill, or Bishop Cosgrove Food Pantry referrals. Now we're going to review our advocacy policy. Advocacy is defined as intervening on behalf of the individual by placing a call or conference to a third party on the inquirer's behalf to ensure that the caller receives the needed services. Pre-existing arrangements with agencies, such as the Bishop Cosgrove Food Pantry, where a call is placed to a third party as a standard course of action, such as to facilitate an appointment, are not considered advocacy calls. Advocacy requires that you have the first name of the caller and their permission to call a third party on their behalf. By selecting level 3, you have indicated the client has given their verbal permission. This can be verified further by listening to a recording of the call. Navigation specialists should only advocate without the assistance of a supervisor under the following circumstances. To assist a caller who has a physical or cognitive barrier that prevents him or her from easily contacting the provider directly. To verify that a phone number is working, but not actually completing a transfer. Or to transfer or conference callers who are in crisis to the appropriate crisis hotline. In cases where advocacy is necessary, the navigation specialist should be sure to also explore the caller's own resources and sources of support, such as family, friends, home health aides, or caseworkers, and should refer the client to organizations designed to advocate on their behalf. Assistance of a supervisor must be sought if you feel that a caller needs advocacy beyond the situations authorized above. Examples of advocacy that require supervisor intervention are the following. The caller was denied service to which you believe that they were entitled. There is a system-wide issue preventing multiple clients from accessing service. The caller has a complaint about a service when you cannot provide another avenue to direct the complaint. Navigation specialists are not authorized to call agencies to verify service hours or other resource information. And if a call is received from a service provider, the call should be transferred to the supervisor line, to the manager of the resource department, or a transmittal should be submitted. Which method is used is dependent upon the urgency of the information, the time of day, and the judgment of the information and referral specialist. Navigation specialists may find that many advocacy situations require follow-up calls. Please refer to the follow-up policy for guidance as to when follow-up is required and suggested.